Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Welcome to the temple. We begin our service singing Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. How beautiful the day is. It is Shabbat.
Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom, Ma Yafeh Hayom. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom.
And we turn now to page 172 on our prayer books to sing together Matovu. Turn to page 195 as we rise for the Berlow.
Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la.
You
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, יוצר אור ובורא חושך, עושה שלום ובורא את הכל, המאיר לארץ ולדרים עליה ברחמים, ובטובו מחדש בכל יום תמיד מעשה וראשית. מה רבו מעשיך אדוני, כולם בחוכמה עשית, מלאה הארץ קנייניך. תתברך אדוני אלוהינו על שבח מעשה ידיך, ועל מאורי אור שעשית יפארו חסלה. אור חדש על ציון תאיר, ונזכה כולנו מהרה לאורו. ברוך אתה אדוני יוצר המאורות. And we read together on page 196. The world is sunlight, restoring the soul, rejoicing the heart, bringing light to the eyes. More welcome than gold, a Torah from heaven. I have no light to give the morning. My Torah, my special human gift is words. As I bring my words forth from silence, welcome them, you who redeems the sun from darkness. Baruch atah Adonai, Yotzer HaMeorot. We turn to page 200 for the calling of the Shema. Please be seated.
And you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. And these words which I command you on this day shall be upon your heart, shall be upon your heart. And you shall teach them diligently unto your children, and you shall speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up, and when you rise up. And you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be for frontlets between your eyes. And you shall write them on the doorposts of your house, and upon your gates, and upon your gates, that you may remember and do all of my commandments, and be holy unto your God, unto your God, unto your God.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. And we turn now to page 204 to sing together Mi Chamocha.
שיפוגולים לשמך על שפת הים יחד כולם הודו והמליכו ואמרו מי
We rise as we turn to page 205 for the tefillah.
Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise.
ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואימותינו, אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב, אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. Source of all being, we turn to you as did our people in ancient days. They beheld you in the heavens, they felt you in their hearts, they sought you in their lives. Their quest is ours. Help us to see the wonder of being. Give us the courage to search for truth. Teach us the path to a better life. So shall we, by our lives and our labors, bring nearer the world we envision, one of justice, freedom, and peace. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. We read together. You are the open door that beckons me in, peeking around the doorframe.
I begin to enter into your glory.
You move me forward, O Eternal, to step beyond self-made boundaries. Lift my foot over the threshold, that I might abide with you. In the house of the Eternal, I found my questions waiting to be posed. They filled me with wonder. Sit with me, Eternal Teacher, encourage my seeking. As I fill my hours with your mitzvot, so shall I be filled. Send me through your door, stretching up to honor your name, sharing out this wonder, enriching myself in the giving. Blessed are you, Adonai, who gives life to all. Baruch atah Adonai, מחיה הכל.
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה ואמר, קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות מלוך כל הארץ כבודו. אדיר אדירנו אדוני אדוננו, מה אדיר שמך בכל הארץ, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו, הוא מלכינו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהים, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהיך ציון לדור ודור. הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד קולך, ולנצח נצחים קדושך נקדיש. בשבחך אלוהינו, מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני העיר הקדוש.
To all generations we will make known your greatness, and to all eternity proclaim your holiness. Your praise, O God, shall never depart from our lips. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Please be seated.
רצית בו וקידשת שבת, חילות יומים אותו קראת שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שמרי שמרי למעשה בראשית שבת ישמחו במלכותך שמרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת ישמחו במלכותך שמרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת.
We turn now to page 216 for the blessing for shalom, the blessing for peace and wellness and wholeness. O God, may we never become complacent, faltering in our effort to build a world of peace. Let the nations know and understand that justice and right are better than dominion and conquest. May all come to see that it is not by might nor by power, but by your spirit that life prevails. Praised are you, Adonai, who blesses your people Israel with peace. Baruch ata Adonai, המברך את עמו ישראל בשלום.
שים שלום, טובה וברכה. שים שלום, טובה וברכה. שים שלום, שים שלום, טובה וברכה. חן וחסד, חן וחסד ורחמים. חן וחסד, חן וחסד ורחמים. ורחמים. שים שלום, טובה וברכה. שים שלום, טובה וברכה. ועל כל ישראל, עלינו ועל כל ישראל, עמך שים שלום, טובה שים שלום, טובה וברכה.
We take a moment for a silent prayer. Turn to page 253 for the words of the Mishe Berach, the prayer for healing and courage and strength in our lives. We name in our hearts those who are dear to us, whom we know that need courage and strength and healing, as we sing together the Misha Berach.
Before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. The renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
We rise as we turn to page 244 for the reading from Seder Kriyat HaTorah LeShabbat, the order of reading from the Torah on Shabbat.
In Kamachava Elohim Adonai, in Kimasecha, Malchutecha, Malchut Kol Amim, Umemshaltecha, B'kol dor v'dor, Adonai.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. Our God is one, Adonai is great, holy is God's name.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. Lecha Adonai Agidula, Yagivura, Yatifir, Yahanitzach, Yahom. Ki kol bashamayim uvaretz, Ki kol bashamayim uvaretz. Lecha Adonai hamamlacha, V'yomid nasi lichol lirot.
Please be seated. Our Torah portion is called Shalach Lecha. We're going to read from chapter 13 in the book of Numbers, beginning with verse 25. Moses, at the beginning of the Torah portion, the part that we're not reading, sends 12 men to tour the land, to tour the land of Israel, and to bring a report, because the people of Israel have now finished their wandering in the desert, but it's not 40 years as we remember. It's less than 2 years. The 40 years will come later, and they're about to cross the mighty Jordan River into the land of Israel and to conquer it. It seems that finally they've reached their goal. And just before crossing the mighty Jordan River, Moses takes 12 men, and the Torah says that those were chieftains, those were important people in their tribes, people that had status and weight in society, and sends them to tour the land of Israel. We'll read the part as they come back from touring the land, and they tour the land for 40 days and 40 nights, and they come back. Well, we'll read that part. We'll see how they come and what's the report, and we'll try to understand what is wrong in this report, because we're not going to read the following part, because the report takes about 10 verses, but we know that God is going to be furious with them, and God is going to punish them to continue to wander in the desert until they die. This is where the 40 years of wandering. 40 days they toured Israel. They brought the report that God didn't like. So as a punishment, they're going to wander in the desert for 40 years, 1 year for every day of touring, and die in the desert. This entire generation is going to wander aimlessly and not reach the goal of the promised land. We'll see what's wrong, and let's ask ourselves, is there's really something wrong in the report, or maybe there's something wrong in the punishment on the report? And what actually is the problem of the scouts with what they see in the land of Israel, the promised land? But first, let's say the blessing before reading from the Torah on page 250.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai hamvorach leolam va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah. Amen.
וישובו מתור הארץ מקץ 40 יום, וילכו ויבואו אל משה ואל אהרון ואל כל עדת בני ישראל אל מדבר פרן קדשה, וישיבו אותם דבר, ואת כל העדה, ויראום את פרי הארץ, ויספרו לו ויאמרו, באנו אל הארץ אשר שלחתנו, וגם זבת חלב ודבש היא, וזה פריה אפס, כי אז העם היושב בארץ, והערים בצורות גדולות מאוד, וגם ילידי הענק ראינו שם, עמלק יושב בארץ הנגב, והחיתי, והיבוסי, והאמורי, יושב בהר, והכנעני יושב על הים, ועל יד הירדן. ויעש כלב את העם אל משה ויאמר, עלה נעלה וירשנו אותה, כי יכול נוכל לה. והאנשים אשר עלו עמו אמרו, לא נוכל לעלות אל העם, כי חזק הוא ממנו. ויוציאו דיבת הארץ אשר תרו אותה אל בני ישראל לאמור, הארץ אשר עברנו בה לתור אותה, ארץ אוכלת יושביה היא, וכל העם אשר ראינו בתוכה, אנשי מידות, ושם ראינו את הנפילים, בני ענק, מן הנפילים, ונהי בעינינו כחגבים, וכן היינו בעיניהם. At the end of 40 days, they returned from scouting the land. They went straight to Moses and Aaron and the whole Israelite community at Kadesh in the wilderness of Paran, and they made their report to them and to the whole community as they showed them the fruit of the land. This is what they told him. We came to the land you sent us to. It does indeed flow with milk and honey, and this is its fruit. However, the people who inhabit the country are powerful, and the cities are fortified and very large. Moreover, we saw the Anakites there, Amalekites dwell in the Negev region, Hittites, Jebusites, and Amorites inhabit the hill country, and Canaanites dwell by the sea and along the Jordan. Caleb hushed the people before Moses and said, "Let us by all means go up, and we shall gain possession of it, for we shall surely overcome it." But the scouts who had gone up with him said, "We cannot attack the people, for it is stronger than we." Thus they spread slander among the Israelites about the land they had scouted, saying, "The country that we traversed and scouted is one that devours its settlers. All the people that we saw in it are of great size. We saw the Nephilim there. The Anakites are part of the Nephilim, and we looked like grasshoppers to ourselves, and so we must have looked to them." So just a point about the translation. When the English translation, and it's not the only place that does it, this translation from the Women's Commentary, has no idea what the word in Hebrew means, because actually we have some vague idea, but we're not sure, then they don't translate. So if you said to yourself, "I don't know the word Nephilim," or "I don't know the word Anakim in English," because those are not words in English. No, they're in the Hebrew Bible in Hebrew, and we're not sure what they mean. In modern Hebrew, it means giants. In biblical Hebrew, I think that the only other reference to it in the Torah, Johanna will correct me if I'm wrong, is in Genesis 5, the story about the sons of God cohabiting with the daughters of men, and out of them came the Nephilim and the Anakites. So those are mythological. I beg pardon? Maybe. I think it may also be. Sorry to correct you. It could be also in Deuteronomy, but it doesn't change the fact we don't know what it exactly means. That's why the translator translates it like that, and it's probably mythological creatures. The modern Hebrew interpretation, if you take it as interpretation, takes it as people of great size, as giants, but we don't have to agree with that. But the question that I wanted to ask, why in our commentary, in our tradition, in the eyes of God, in the eyes of Moses, we see those 10 scouts, because 2 of the scouts don't bring bad reports about the land, or they say we can do it, Caleb and Yoshua. But all the others who are going to be punished by God are portrayed as cowards. As people who did not have confidence, not in themselves, not in God. They see themselves, they're saying, we were like grasshoppers in our own eyes, so we must have looked like that to anyone else. And the commentary through generation slanders the 10 scouts and says, even though they were the chieftains, even though they were heads of tribes, even though they were leaders, that they did not have the guts and what it takes to do the job. But there's another line of interpretation. Very few go with it. A few Hasidic rabbis, mainly the founder of Chabad, Rabbi Menachem Mendel Schneerson, the rabbi from Lubavitch, says that the scouts actually were not afraid of losing the war. They were afraid of winning the war. And what they were afraid of is what will happen when we will be sovereign in our own country. In the wilderness, in the desert, they were like, in a way, babies in the womb of their mother carrying them, because God gave them everything they needed. They needed water, God gave them water. They needed food, God gave them the manna. Not great tasting food, but probably the fetus in the womb doesn't get such great food either, or maybe a newborn with breastfeed, but all their needs was taken care of. And all of a sudden, they will be independent. And maybe, says Menachem Mendel Schneerson, maybe when they looked and scouted the people in the land, they realized what a huge responsibility it means to be an adult. What a huge responsibility real life looks like. What a huge responsibility being sovereign and being responsible means like, and they saw the fragility of real world, of real human existence, and that got them scared. Because, you know, the same people, when we're coming out of Egypt in the Song of the Sea, the same people are saying, nations will hear and will be afraid. All the dwellers of Canaan will melt down. It doesn't make sense that all of a sudden they look at the dwellers of Canaan and they say, no, that's not going to happen. They saw God fighting for them. So maybe in great sensitivity and great wisdom, they actually were afraid of what being a sovereign means. There's an American writer, she was born in the 50s, Marianne Williamson, and she writes the following. She says, our most and our greatest fear is not that we're too weak. Our greatest fear and our deepest fear is actually that we are so powerful that we are powerful beyond any human measurement. And maybe, she's not writing it about that, she's writing it in another book, but maybe this is a fear that we, as Rabbi Schneerson says, should be aware of. And we even should justify. And maybe when we look at other humans, would say it's okay sometimes to feel that you are like a grasshopper. It's okay to feel that people are greater to you. And definitely it's okay to be afraid of too much power and too much responsibility. By the way, if you read ahead and look ahead, power does corrupt. And in a way, if that's their fear, they kind of sow the future and sow what maybe it entails, and said, no thanks. Now, the Torah is not happy about it. They're punished, they're going to wander aimlessly, but maybe we should be less judgmental towards them and acknowledge the right to be afraid, whether it's from being powerless or being with too much power. Let's say the blessing after.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen. V'zot haTorah asher sam Moshe livnei b'nei Israel. V'zot haTorah asher sam Moshe livnei b'nei Israel. Al pi Adonai b'yad Moshe, b'yad Moshe. Al pi Adonai b'yad Moshe, b'yad Moshe. V'zot haTorah asher sam Moshe livnei b'nei Israel. V'zot haTorah asher sam Moshe livnei b'nei Israel.
We turn to page 283 for Aleinu L'Shabeach, as we read in the middle of page 283. Please join me. Let us adore the ever-living God and render praise unto you, who spreads out the heavens and established the earth, whose glory is revealed in the heavens above, and whose greatness is manifest throughout the world. You are our God, there is none else. We turn to page 287 and we read together at the top of the page. May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding, loved each of us for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech, and may we never lift up our hand, but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד ושמו אחד. It has been said Adonai will be sovereign over all the earth. On that day Adonai will be one, and God's name will be one, and God's name will be one.
Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people, whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. On this Shabbat, we remember especially Jose Maza, Henry Berg Brousseau, David Sean Bailey, Najla Aswad, Mary Greenwald, Edward Ornstein, Theodore Segal, Hinda Weinstock, Fanny Lerman Zachariah, Irene Cantor, Carol Friedman, Peggy Greenwald, Edward Levi, Thomas Lipton, Mary Neiber, Bernard Weiskopf, Sandra Gitchell, Marvin Goldstein, Milton Goodman, Michael Hayes Effernan, Maud Louise Effernan, Alexander O'Brien, Sybil Parnas, Libby Simon, Oscar Baron Rothenberg, Alan J. Bass, Abraham W. Bogoslavsky, Maxine Levi, Celia Morgulen, Ernst Schlussler, Sally Zachs Enoch, Dorothy Kramer, Maurice Rothman, Gerald Berman, Isador Getzel, Shirley Goodman, Carolyn Grossman, Edna Lefkowitz, Marianne Blumlob, Arkady Okeretner, Ruth Prisant, Ida Schellenberg, Wendy Brill, Richard Gornsey, Donald Linker. And in recent days, John Glickfield, Benita Berman. We think of our loved ones, whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. With the blessed memories from our loved ones in our hearts, we rise as we turn to page 294 for the Mourner's Kaddish. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעלם ולעולמי עולמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו, לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, לאמירן בעלמה, ואמרו אמן. יהא שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. זיכרונם לברכה. May the memory of our loved ones come to be a blessing and a benediction to us all. Amen. Our closing song is Oseh Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Please say Shabbat Shalom to someone you never met before, and also to those you know. And may we all have a Shabbat of Shalom, Shabbat of wholeness and peace and rest. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.